Bawo, Shwele Bawo, Iba no musagimi, Iba no musagimi.
Hey, Sisi, you are under arrest for the murder of Thulisile Nkabinde. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in the court of law. You have the right to an attorney. If you cannot afford one, the state will provide you with one under certain circumstances. Horse.
Iba no musagimi.
You have the right to remain silent.
Iba no musagimi.
You know it's our democratic right to tell our story too. The story of all those women who kept their anger burning slowly on a back burner. Those who now spend their lives in prison because our justice system cannot tell the difference between a drunk man killing in a barroom brawl and an abused woman who had no other way. It's not a unique story. So what makes my story more interesting than those of my fellow sisters in prison? Well. I am Dikeledi Nkabinde. I'm the wife and murderer of the late, great Mr. Powerhouse Socialite, you can't touch me, Shwele Nkabinde. I'm a celebrity, darling. A former member of the high society. It doesn't get any better than this. Does my haughtiness offend you? Don't you take it awful hard because I laugh like I've got gold mines digging in my backyard. You may shoot me with your words. You may cut me with your eyes. You may kill me with your hatefulness. But still, like air, I rise. So I've only served about 2 years of my life sentence, but let me tell you something. I was sentenced to life imprisonment long before coming to jail. The only difference, of course, is that I've been deployed from a Tuscan-sized palace to a toilet-sized cell with many others like me. When I first met Usoli, it was a dream come true. Oh, Motshabi Bawo, he was so handsome and loving and very, very rich. I never quite knew how Usoli got his start. And every time I would ask him, he would say, my brother, Uputemba, which means hope, by the way, never quite liked Usoli. Look, Usoli was in his 40s and I was only 16 when we met. Uputemba felt that Usoli was nothing but a chicken murderer. Wow! But did that chicken murderer spoil me? Yeah, I was his Cinderella, he was my Prince Charming. I went overseas like I was going to the toilet, visiting all the romantic places in the world. And just before my 18th birthday, before you know it, a bun in the oven. My beauty. I moved from a matchbox house to a 7-bedroom palace with a bar, sauna, jacuzzi, swimming pool, tennis court, every luxury you could possibly think of. But it wasn't free love. It had its price. I was materially very wealthy, but spiritually undernourished and culturally very, very poor.
Sweethearts, do you think this
life sentence is new to me. Why do you think we cry when we are born? Huh? It's because we can see the world we are coming into. Now I am told I didn't do the like normal babies. They say I wept like a woman in great pain. Dikeledi. That's my name. Marriage was just a continuation of my heavy life sentence. Rahadi being the great judge, she was dispensing her knowledge onto me, a young 19-year-old bride. Ngesixhosa sithi ukuthakatha. Xana indoda yakho ingalali endlini, ungakulinga umbuze nto. Don't you dare! Don't you dare! Mamela, xana esithi A, ungakulinge uthi B. Ntombazana melapha. Ungacingi into yokuba xa inengxaki izoze ndibalekela apha. KwaXhosa kuthiwa nyamezela ntombazana. Nyamezela. Indoda yinkomo yenqoma. Ulisembe uyabolekwa. He is to be lent and borrowed and lent and borrowed and lent and borrowed. Uyandiva? Yeah, Bawo, that was my life sentence. Hey, I was so freaked out, I tell you. I cried because I loved my husband, all right? And I did not want to believe that this was true. I started to understand those women who would beg and plead with their husbands to abuse them. Or even those women who stay in abusive relationships. Or even those policemen who say, see, we can't help you here, nah? This is a family matter. Go home. It's because of that twisted indoctrination. I mean, if usoli, ulizele, what does that make me? No, really, Ndiabuza. Some piece of wood to be chopped and bent? Answer me. So anyways, I married Usoli. And as you can imagine, our friends became couples in their 40s, 60s, and 100s. You know what I mean. Of all of Soli's friends' wives, only one of them really liked him. Sister. Honey, tricks of the trade. A housewife in the kitchen, a lady in the dining room, and a bitch in the bedroom. Don't you worry yourself about these pensioners. They are singing, in my time. As story was not threatened by my youth in Dagabao. She took me under her wing and introduced me to fashion and wine and poetry and etiquette. The others, they couldn't stand me because their husbands couldn't keep their eyes off of me. Soli also got jealous. When we would get home, he would be on my case. Who were you parading around for when you were going to the toilet? Parading around? I wasn't parading around. That's just how I walk. Oh. I wasn't trying that way. Are you flirting with my friends, Why were you looking at James in the eye when you were talking to him, I was talking to James. Who else was I supposed to look at? Sorry, in my opinion, I just... So no opinion, man, You are getting too big for your bones, man. You come to Joburg, you think you can tell me what to do? In my house, for tag, you big, for tag, man. Sorry, I'm sorry, Dikeledi. Tears. That's my name. Yeah, hey Nani, you African parents, Nani, why do you give your children such sad and depressing names? Huh? Do you not know that your children are bound to live up to these names? Huh? How about Machaka, rubbish, or Musilanja, a dog's tail? Ay man, you can't rest. Yes, Kawasa, City Undana, Uyalilandela, Ikamalaki. I beg your pardon? Did my husband abuse me? Did my husband hurt me? Yes, but so did you. My family, his family, all of you added fuel to the fire that was already burning. You were the steel that enclosed my cell. You, with your words. Your words. Your words turned my husband into some demigod, some nkalagata as he came to be known. You turned him into a man who couldn't even tell the difference between his own children and... You call me a murderer. So what do you call him, eh? Your fucking hero! Anyways, you remember my wedding? Yes, my wedding, come on, man. And most of you were there at my wedding. You wrote about how it was going to be the wedding of the century. Huh? I thought I was the most beautiful thing to ever happen to this continent. And Usuli, he dedicated that Mafizola song to us. He said it was our anthem. I will meet you at the river. I will meet you at the river. Yes, I don't ever remember dancing with Uswali after that. I wonder what went wrong. But of course, you had to write your romance, eh? A widow celebrates hubby's death. Beauty who killed. Could she be the murderer? You know, there are so many other ills that you could at least be focusing on right now. You could write about something else, man. Like what? Like who are we? How did we get here? Is there hope for us? Do we care? Do we care enough about our children? Do we? Well, that is the exact same answer I got from my in-laws just a few days before the funeral. Hey, Burakat, why do you suddenly care now? Eh? As my husband's aunt, what have you ever done to help me and my children? Hey, I'm the Bawo. Have you ever told me about these traditions and their significance? But when I took my babies out just a few days after they were born, you called me names instead of telling me it was culturally wrong. Chamors, stratmate, a busman. Hey. So all of you here could tell me about the acts that needed to be lent and borrowed and lent and borrowed, but none of you could show me the light when it came to the children. None of you. So when it was okay for him to come into my house, perform his own rituals on my bed, Nohal, with some nkazana from the street. But he couldn't do the same when it came to our children, eh? He knew those rituals, but did not know them for the children. Just don't bother. Don't bother, Rahadi. Don't bother telling me about your cultural ways now, because I don't care. I don't care. I've decided that abantwana bam bazofana nonyoko. No bond to their paternal ancestry. And isn't Dilip Usman? Dilip Usman and I have no manners. Well, let me tell you something, Rahadi. Busman is tired. Busman is muhom man. You told me to lie about my beatings, my sufferings. Well, I've had enough. Today I refuse. I refuse. And there will be no mattress on the floor, man. I did not buy this thing from Bakos Brothers for you to come and put it on my floor. I don't care how clean these floors are. Culture, my food. I'm no longer doing things for the sake of doing them. Culture, when it's convenient for you and makes my life hell. My friend, can't get it. You don't know what I've been through with these people. Yeah, I don't see story. You know better than anyone what I've been through with these people. Hi, man, my friend, Kausuke. Can I tell you something? My mother-in-law hated me. She told me to never ever even dream of calling her mama. I thought she was joking. Mama, she would say, Asoli, empathetically. My family told me to treat my mother-in-law with love and respect, like she was my own mother. And what did I get in return? When Usoli started beating me, she asked me, I was told to keep my big mouth shut and everything would be fine. I was accused of dragging the family name through the mud. At the police station wouldn't even open a case. They said I must go see a social worker. And then Usoli decides to take my baby, Ubuhle wam, to America. Not Rwanda, not Bloemfontein, America. She helped him. Then Usoli got the first kid pregnant. He bought her a house and nobody told me. I was told that he's a man and it's tradition. Well, am I not supposed to choose? Or at least be consulted, according to your tradition, of course. Am I not supposed to be consulted as to which is the next piece of wood to be chopped and bent? So, this very same woman who tormented me so wants to come into my house and tell me what to do. Hey, she's bloody lucky that I let her in the house in the first place. Our foundation is all wrong. When we got married 17 years ago, we started off on the wrong footing, and that's not helping us now, is it? You've only been here a week now, and all it's been is bickering and headaches and bickering and headaches. My children and I have lost someone that we truly, truly loved. And your belated talk about tradition is not helping us cope with our loss. What? You newspaper people are shocked that I wanted to watch the news when I should have been mourning my husband. You really do take the cake, yes? Now tell me something. If a plane were to come crashing through these walls right now, would you wait for the victims to receive treatment before you took out your cameras and started clicking away at their charred bodies? Yes or no? So please, don't come and tell me that I shouldn't be watching TV when my husband is dead, when my husband is the very news. So please, the next time you write your stories, Beauty who killed, widow celebrates hubby's death. Could she be the murderer? Check your fucking facts, man. Get them right. And so, ladies and gentlemen of the press, I am not here because I killed solely. I'm here because I planned to kill him. And he got killed.
Sifela ukuthi singabafazi, sifela ukuthi singoma.